Power without purpose is destruction. Purpose without power is despair. But when the two converge, the elder seer of Yggdrasil, the 9 realms trembled not from war, nor from prophecy fulfilled, but from a rift that tore through the fabric of reality itself. In the heart of Yggdrasil, where the world tree pulses with cosmic knowledge and divine song, Odin Allfather stood silent, gazing into the well of Erd. The reflection was not of the past or future, but of something alien, a force that existed outside the runes. Beyond the weave of fate, his single eye narrowed. He had seen many things, Ragnarok, the birth of Mangog, even the whispers of Galactus, but this was unbound momentum, a being not destined but driven, infinite and eternal. The crimson path has been disturbed, muttered Odin. He turned from the well, his cloak swirling like the wings of ravens, and summoned his son, the one who had become more than a god, more than a thunderer. He summoned Rune King Thor, the ascended son of Odin. Thor had changed. Gone was the impetuous prince who swung Mjolnir with fury and ego. Gone even was the king of Asgard who once sat upon the throne. In his place stood something, transcendent, a god, who had entered the very tapestry of the runes, sacrificed self and soul to gain true wisdom and cosmic enlightenment. No longer just a warrior, Rune King Thor was the language of magic itself. His eyes glowed with ancient inscriptions. Runes spiraled in the air around him, etching fate with each breath. When he heard Odin's call, he did not walk. He willed himself through layers of space and time, arriving before his father with neither sound nor wind. "You've seen it too," Thor said, his voice echoing as if the cosmos spoke with him. Odin nodded, a force of pure momentum, unstoppable, immune to fate. Even the Norns weep when they try to weave his thread. Thor looked into the well. He saw what Odin had seen, a being of crimson might, marching through dimensions, leaving broken gods in his wake. No speech, no declaration, just a steady, relentless advance toward something no being had dared seek, the heart of Yggdrasil itself. It calls itself Trion, Odin said grimly. The Trion force unleashed. In a dimension sealed from mortal comprehension, Trion Juggernaut moved. Not walked, not ran. He moved through existence, a manifestation of the Cyttorak's divine power, taken to its fullest expression. No longer was Cain Marco a mere avatar. The Trion form was Cyttorak's full will unleashed. Juggernaut as he was meant to be, a being of endless energy, endless mass and endless drive. Not even entropy could halt him. Entire pantheons fell trying to stop him. Celestial fragments splintered in his wake. He crushed concepts. He broke absolutes. Every step forward fractured reality, and every breath bent causality. His mission, unknown to all but Cyttorak. Find the roots of the tree, shatter them. Let power belong to chaos, not order. As he approached the veil between realms, the rift widened. It pierced Alfheim, split Muspelheim, and cracked Vanaheim. The world tree groaned. Realms shifted unnaturally. What made Juggernaut dangerous wasn't just strength. It was that he could not be turned back. The convergence. Thor knew what was coming. Not a war, not even an apocalypse, but a collision of doctrines, one driven by the wisdom of the runes, the natural flow of magic, of destiny, of divine order, the other driven by chaos incarnate, a godless force of sheer, unrelenting power that knew no path, only momentum. Thor ascended to the root of Yggdrasil, the hidden realm, where the branches of destiny and the roots of time intertwined. It was there the rift would fully manifest. As he arrived, the runes around him reacted violently. They screamed, not in fear, but in warning. He is not of the weave. He is not meant to be. Yet he is here. Thor raised his hands, palms glowing. Ancient runes spiraled across his arms, binding together the strength of ancient kings, the wisdom of dead gods, and the echo of the All-Thing. He reached into the well of Mimir, the secret well, hidden beneath the bark of Yggdrasil. The knowledge burned, but he embraced it. From the flames of his enlightenment he summoned Gjallarhorn, not Heimdall's, his own, forged from the bones of broken timelines. Then the sky ruptured. From the horizon of realities, a red blur split through the heavens like a falling star. It was not fire, it was not rage, it was inevitability incarnate. Trion Juggernaut arrived. He stood taller than Thor remembered, not bound in armor, but in bands of raw force. Crimson energy poured from his shoulders, flaring into dimensional rifts. He did not speak. He did not threaten. He stepped forward, and the root of Yggdrasil bent. Thor's runes sparked wildly. "You're not meant to be here," Thor intoned, the sky behind him darkening. "This place is sacred. Turn back." Juggernaut looked at him. No words, no motion. Just another step. The bark of the world tree cracked beneath him. The air rippled as if reality itself inhaled in dread. Thor's eyes narrowed. So be it. He extended his hand, not for Mjolnir, which had long since been laid to rest, but for the storm within. Lightning surged from his core. The runes ignited in golden flame. The 9 realms watched. The tree shuddered. And then he hurled the first word of power. Thras! Thras to bind momentum. It struck Juggernaut in the chest and did nothing. The energy flared, then sank into him, consumed like a candle flame into a black hole. Juggernaut raised his foot again and stepped. Thor launched himself skyward, runes swirling like comets around him. Juggernaut met him with a fist that distorted time itself. As the two forces met for the first time, the realms went dark. When unmovable purpose meets unstoppable power, the world does not break in silence. It sings, then shatters. The last chronicle of the world tree, the air at the root of Yggdrasil split open with the cry of celestial thunder. Trion Juggernaut's fist collided with Rune King. Thor's outstretched arm, an arm not of flesh, but of divine light and ancient wisdom. The impact cracked the sky itself, creating fault lines through dimensions. Midgard saw it as a red comet. The Kree Empire recorded it as a mass gravitational anomaly. In hell, even Hela paused. Thor spiraled through the air from the hit, crashing into one of the ancient roots of the tree. Bark the size of cities shattered, releasing golden ichor, the blood of Yggdrasil. The tree groaned as if in pain, but Thor rose. His body pulsed with runes that reformed with every blink. With a sweep of his arm, he summoned a storm older than time. Lightning arced from the bones of long-dead gods and slammed into Juggernaut's back. It carved a hole through the air, but did nothing to halt the crimson behemoth. "You do not bend," Thor whispered, "so I must break you." He struck with a rune-forged spear made from the spine of the Midgard serpent. Juggernaut caught it mid-flight and crushed it with his hand. Energy exploded in a ring of molten time. Then Juggernaut charged. No one could stop him. Not even gods, not even death, but Thor. Thor was beyond godhood now. He didn't dodge. Instead, he spoke a second rune word. Funa. Funa, to unravel form. The sound bent the charge itself. Juggernaut's body shimmered, distorted, fractured into multiversal strands, but he kept charging. Even as his form became unstable, the Trion energy core held him intact. Not even runic dissolution could halt his momentum. Juggernaut collided with Thor again. This time, the impact broke an entire root clean off the tree. It spiraled into the void, a realm-ending piece of reality, lost forever. Thor coughed blood, but he stood. Juggernaut didn't relent. He smashed his fist down again and again, every blow a supernova, every strike a poem of annihilation. But Thor raised a shield of runes. Each time it cracked, he rewrote it in real time, pulling words of power from the branches of fate. "You think I stand because I'm strong?" Thor roared. "No, I stand because I must." He gathered all the runes around him, thousands, glowing like stars, and carved them into the air with his hands. The symbols formed a spiral, a vortex of pure narrative force. He was not casting a spell. He was rewriting reality. "Your path ends here, Juggernaut." Juggernaut surged forward, his body now bleeding crimson entropy. The power of Cyttorak had reached its apex. He screamed, not in rage, but in sheer existence. The scream shattered the logic of the realm. But Thor had spoken the final rune, Awaka, to close the loop. The rune burst from Thor's mouth like a sun-going nova. A circle of ancient language closed around Trion Juggernaut. His energy surged outward to break it, but the runes drank it. Not contained, converted. Every ounce of power was redirected, grounded into Yggdrasil itself, feeding the tree. Juggernaut took one more step. Die, and stopped. His foot hovered in the air. Suspended. Still, for the first time in his existence, he was stopped. Thor walked toward him, lightning cascading in golden veins along his skin. "You are power, Cain Marco," he said softly. "But even power without end must bow to meaning." He placed his hand on Juggernaut's chest. The rune spiral sunk into his heart. The Trion energy faltered, and with a silent explosion that flashed across the realms, Trion Juggernaut collapsed. The root of Yggdrasil stood firm once again. Reality, broken and bruised, began to mend. And Thor, he did not roar. He did not raise a weapon. He simply looked upward and whispered, "Let this be the last path forged in chaos."